All right, my sweet friends, it's Kate here with Mama's Making Commas, and I have a very special guest today, Annette. You guys are going to love her. She's a total mom boss, but she also has created this space to allow other women to be empowered to build a profitable business based on your own passions, which I think is amazing. So, Annette, welcome to the show. I would love to get to know a bit about you as like a mom and where you started. So, would you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much, Kate, for this opportunity. I am a mom. I have a 27-year-old daughter and a 17-year-old son. So I've been doing this mom thing for a little while. And I'm also a full-time entrepreneur. So I've been a full-time entrepreneur for almost 12 years now. I actually started out as a therapist. So by trade, I'm a therapist, I was working with youth that had mental illness, and working a lot with their moms to kind of help them to modify their behaviors as a result that manifested as a result of the mental illness. But I got a little bit exhausted and drained in working with talking about mental illness all day, right? Because I feel like in spite of a diagnosis, we can all lead normal or somewhat normal lives. So I'd rather harp on mental wellness than mental illness, which made me transition from being a therapist into what I do now, which is I got a certification in life coaching and I do life and mindset coaching for female entrepreneurs and for mom entrepreneurs, right? Just kind of teaching them how to leverage their passion to make limitless revenue so that they can support the life that they dream of and as well as a legacy, right? So I believe we talk about in terms of leaving legacy often, but in order to leave a legacy, you have to live a legacy. So I want to create a legacy lifestyle for female entrepreneurs, mom entrepreneurs, so that they have something to leave to their children.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I just got to take a pause for just a second because you talked about like three of my favorite things in the entire world. Legacy building. I love that. You need to be a legacy. So anybody that listens, hope you wrote that down because I am going to put it on my wall. I think it's just so good. I'm always talking about building a legacy. And the second thing you said, which I 100% agree, is a diversification of your income sources. So lots of different revenue streams, which if anybody has followed the show, I'm 100% behind. So I think that is super, super key. And that you chose to, instead of focusing on things that drained you, things that lifted you. And I think a lot of times we do things out of, I have to do this because it's safe or because I need to provide for my family. And you made a shift. I was doing quick math, 17-year-old 12 years ago was 5. So, some people that are listening to the show may have young kids and think, oh, it's easy for her. She's got older kids. No, you did this when you had younger kids and took the shift. So what kind of process was it that you needed to do, or mindset wise be okay with taking that shift? What kind of steps were in there to go from being a therapist to being an entrepreneur?
So like you said, it started off with a mindset shift because one of the things that I had to do was figure out what I wanted my life to look like, right? What my dream life looked like. And what I realized when I had my dream life and the salary that I was making in my profession, they didn't align, right? I wasn't making enough to manifest this dream life, right? And so I started thinking in terms of what more can I do so that I can make income and impact, right? And I felt like entrepreneurship gave me the leverage that I needed to make multiple streams of income where full-time employment did not, right? So full-time employment came with a salary. It took up a lot of my time, XYZ. Entrepreneurship took a lot of my time as well, but it also allowed me to do what I love to do with people in a capacity that I love to do it, and then also generate multiple streams of revenue that's attached to my passion that my target audience would still need and make way more money than I could being boxed into this particular profession, right? So it was the mindset shift, but also the desire for more from my children that really my why was bigger than this, just being boxed into this profession, right? So making sure I wanted to, I grew up poor, right? So I didn't go on summer vacations and travel and go to private school. I wanted them to be educated in private school, all of these things, right? I was educated in public schools. And so that meant I had to make more income in order to be able to provide those things for them and make sure they had a life that was different from mine. And the only way that I can do that, because this profession has a salary cap, right? There's no salary caps in entrepreneurship. So I can do the same thing, make a difference in people's lives, help them to shift their mindset, all the things that I wanted to do, but I had to do it in another capacity, which made me come over to entrepreneurship to do it.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that so
Mhm.
much. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's talk about your what you're doing now. Let's talk about what you're doing now so that people who are
Mhm.
listening are like, okay, like this is cool. Like tell us what you do. Tell us what you do.
So I do Goal Getter LLC again is a business, and that's the name of my business, Goal Getter LLC. It's designed to help women to monetize their divine gifts so that they're making multiple streams of income to support their lives and their legacies, right? And so what I do is coach women into understanding like, okay, this is my gift, this is my purpose, this is what I was created to do. Now, these are the ways that I can generate revenue from it, right? So I'm gonna use myself as an example. I'm no longer practicing therapy, I'm doing mindset coaching, right? But in the mindset coaching space, I help them to develop their businesses or whatever, right? So multiple streams of income for me per se is doing coaching services for the women. I also do business development services. So I start the LLC, I start the nonprofit, whatever it is that they want to do, right? Then we provide ongoing business coaching to help them to further develop those businesses. We have what's called Goal Getter University. So I've actually sat down and created courses for people that are, let me do DIY, or I don't have enough money to invest in coaching, but I can take these courses, so they can take any of the courses. We've created wellness packages. So we have like journals and planners, like all the things we would tell people to do in therapy, like write in a journal, do mind dumps or whatever. We've created a line of products that kind of helps them with their mental wellness and all those type things, right? We even have like mental wellness boxes that has like candles and sage and journals and planners and all those things in it, just to kind of keep people, decompressing and doing self-care, all of those things. We encourage that. I'm also a published author, so I have like 13 books that I've published, and it talks about different subject matter. So a couple of them are talking about how to generate multiple streams of income. And my second book was called Live Free, Creating the Streams to Live Your Dreams. So it helped them to identify 5 streams of income that they can attach to their businesses. The first book was Conquering the Enemy. So it's actually helping you. Enemy is spelled ENEME, overcoming the enemy of self. And you have to transition the mind in order to overcome the enemy of self. So it's like starting with the mind and then working your way down. So we have business development services, we have products, we have coaching services, a whole array of services and lines of streams of revenue that's attached to my particular business that started out from what I'm passionate about doing.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Okay, so I love that, and I was totally checking out your website. So if anybody has not checked out her website, make sure you click the link in the comments, because the packages too that you have of services, like products that you can buy. I was like, oh, this would
Mhm.
make great team gifts, or
Mhm.
friends that are going through something, like to be able to
Yes.
send them a happy mail. So I really love that you have tangible products that I can
Yeah.
buy and support you in that regard. But then
Mhm.
courses, your instant download courses or services, and your coaching, I think it really allows people a one-stop shop to get the
Yes.
support that they need. So if you have
Mhm.
not followed her, you're going to want to go ahead and click that link and take a look. So what top tips do you have for somebody that maybe is stuck in that position, that is capped? Maybe they like what they do, but it's just not meeting that divine
Mhm.
opportunity to manifest the life of their dreams. What kind of tips do you have for them?
To leverage your skill set, right? So even if you are in a job that you love, I'm not saying like full-time entrepreneurship is not for everybody, because it's hard as heck, right? Full-time entrepreneurship is hard. I'll never lie to anybody, right? But leverage your skills and your knowledge, right? So even if you love your job and you're in it, but hey, I'm not really making enough money to take my kids to travel, or travel myself, or do whatever it is that you want to do, you can still leverage your knowledge and skill set in order to generate more revenue for yourself, right? So do it as a side gig, right? Do it part-time, whatever it is. Do it, very part-time, whatever it is. So I'm gonna use, for example, if you love to bake, right? Let's just say you work at a bakery, you love to bake. Hey, I love working at this bakery. You can always create a course teaching people how to bake, right? Or baking with your kids or whatever, right? So let me teach you how to bake a simple butter pound cake that you can do with your kids, something like that or whatever. So even like if you do it as a baking class for kids, whatever it is, you're simply just creating a course by using your phone, recording it as a video, putting it on a course platform and selling that, right? You can do a baking cookbook or whatever that has a bunch of recipes in it of different cakes that they can bake, whatever it is, right? But there's always other ways to leverage your knowledge and your skill set in order to make additional revenue from it. So that's what I would recommend to anybody, even if you're stuck in a profession or if you love the profession and just want to make additional revenue, find other ways to leverage your knowledge and your skill set.
Mhm. Okay, so and I think I agree with you in the regard that you can test the waters before you
Hmm.
quit your job completely too.
Hmm.
But I think if you're willing to work a little bit in the evening, one night a week, or a little bit on the weekend,
Hmm.
especially your example was perfect.
Hmm.
On Sunday, do you bake with your kids? Well, it'd
Yes.
be really easy to record that and
Hmm.
create a following, on YouTube or Instagram or wherever of
Hmm.
just little snippets. People will start to follow you, and then you can start to
Correct.
drop things. So I think we talked in there to automating it and selling your digital product. So I just want to make sure
Hmm.
people got that. So not only one, diversifying by having extra income sources on your schedule, but automating that and selling that as a product so that
Yes.
people can buy from you, support your efforts, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Which then allows you to grow your income stream. And we talk a lot about mamas and making commas, like what to do with that money. And so if you
Hmm.
haven't caught some of the other episodes and you're listening for the first time, just go back through, because we've talked about like people who have quit their job. Like my very first guest was Michelle, and she quit her job with no plan. And that's very scary for
It
people,
is. Yes.
where I was very strategic in mine, and it was like 6-month process to save
Uh-huh.
up enough to have 6 months worth of like savings, so that when I
Hmm.
quit, if it failed, it was okay, right? So
Uh-huh. Yeah.
everybody in between, I just want you to know that like there's no right or wrong way of going into entrepreneurship or being your own boss, and it doesn't
Hmm.
mean having to quit your full-time job. If you love it,
Correct.
you can add extra streams of income. Okay, so any final thoughts that you had in that you want people to know about you or entrepreneurship or anything like that?
I say take the leap. I was one of them like Michelle. Like I didn't have a plan, I didn't have an exit strategy, I didn't have any money saved. I just took the leap, right? And so my thing is, even if you have a plan, you don't have a plan, whatever it is, because one thing I know about us, especially as moms, we're not gonna allow our kids to starve, right? So even if you jump out without a plan, you're gonna hustle and do what you have to do to make sure you have enough revenue to make sure your kids are good and the overhead is good, right? So if you have enough faith in yourself and your abilities, then get it done, right? You can generate revenue anyway, like on automation, like you said, or whatever, with courses, digital products, tangible products, finding clients that you can kind of render services to and coach, because literally people are scared of coaching. They're like, I'm not certified. You don't have to be certified to coach, right? You coach based on your knowledge and your skill set. That's really how people, because nobody's ever asked me, are you certified to coach? They've never asked me that. They just know what I know and they come to me to coach them, right? So literally, you are living the blueprint that they need to follow. That's all it is. You don't have to have certifications, licenses, all of this to coach people. Just provide it as a service, right? So I recommend whatever it is that you do, figure out how you can bundle and package that knowledge and those skills, put a price tag on it, and start putting it out in the universe so that people can gravitate to you and you can start generating money from that. And then allocate that stream of revenue to whatever it is that you want to do in life.
Oh my gosh. I wish that I had seen your website a year ago before I became LLC. So if anybody's thinking about LLC, definitely connect with Annette, because it's not an easy process. And I was looking at your fee, I was like, that would have saved me so much money. Um, right. And it's true. Like, I think we forget, like, we all have experiences, and I get emotional thinking about it, because a lot of times people say, yeah, but why would someone want to support me, or why would someone want to learn
Mhm.
with me, or why would
Mhm.
someone want to coach me? Because you can save them time, you can save
Yes.
them years, you can save them frustration,
Mhm.
you can
Yep.
probably save
Yep.
them hours,
Mhm. Mhm.
and like, hours is money, whether it's a financial mistake that you're like, I went
Yep.
down the path way too early, or way too fast, or way too naive,
Yes.
to being able to have like that, like leverage or that advantage
Mhm.
of like being able to do it better, faster, so
Yes.
that you don't spend as much time Mickey mousing around. Like, I think
Mhm.
that's the thing that I love when I was looking at your page. So for those that are like, okay, I need to talk to Annette, like go and click the link, because you definitely want to. If you're kind of not really sure, like what you want to do, but you want to make extra money, we do have a little presentation. You can click the link in the comments too. We're just showing how mamas can make extra commas, doing things just like Annette was sharing. We just want people to be able to leverage their knowledge and allow you to build those residual incomes that we talked about, and then be smart with that extra money. Okay, so
Yeah.
there's lots of different things you can spend it on, right?
Yeah.
Family trips and all the things are good, but you also want to be smart with your money too. So thank you so much, Annette, for your time.
Thank
we really
you.
appreciate you, and we're cheering you on, and we're definitely shopping your site. So thank you so
Yes,
much.
thank you so much. I appreciate you, Kate. Thank you.
No problem. Anybody listening, don't forget to subscribe so you hear more stories just like Annette. Have a great day.